Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Whale Nerds Podcast. This is episode number 107. My name is Slater, and I'm here with Adam and Caitlin.
What's up?
Hello.
Ski-oo.
We're here.
So,
we're
we're
dear,
here.
and we're near.
The three
Here.
ears,
We're
and we have
near.
ears.
We're near our trips that are coming.
Yeah, we
Ooh.
are.
Kind of like a week out, 2 weeks out, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, this will be the last one that comes out before our trips. And then you'll get to hear about Whale Nerds Weekend after that.
I'm scared.
What? This
Yeah.
isn't the last one that comes out. Oh, because you're moving.
Well, yeah, but this goes out on Friday. And then that next Friday is
Don't
our
tell 'em
first
we're
trip.
recording- Don't tell them we're recording early.
We can tell them whatever we want to tell them.
So the 22nd, or wait,
This one goes out on the 15th.
and then you fly home the 16th?
Yeah,
Wow, dude. And then what? What day do you get here?
the 20th.
I'm gonna have like a big banner that you like you're driving down the one, and Adam and I will stand across the whole freeway just in case if you know where you're going, dude. You have to break through it with your truck. It's like there's a 38 car pile up with a purple Tacoma. Has a ribbon around the front.
It just goes on the windshield and just blinds me so I can't see where I'm going.
I got the 20th through the 24th off, so that could actually be a possibility. We could actually do that
Oh
for you.
my God. No, I don't know what time I'm going to get in on the 20th. It's like a 12+ hour drive.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah, Caitlin just
gnarly.
zooms it though. She just like picks the show
But
off
you
the
don't-
back of her truck and goes. You know?
You don't even stop. You don't even stop to pee once.
Just stop for gas.
What?
Caitlin's a boss, dude. She rolls
Stop
All my
for
friend-
gas. Get the
all my
snacks
friends
and
are
use the
like that.
bathrough at the gas station
hate
and just
driving.
go.
They're like, we can't stop, and I'm like, what do you mean? I want to look at a view or like chill,
No, no,
do
no,
some
no.
yoga, and they're like,
But
nah,
also-
we're going.
There's nothing to look at on I-5 anyway besides like fields and farms.
Wait, do you go
Yeah,
through
it's
like
true.
what's that place right at the border where the it's like a mountain area?
Yeah, like by Lake Shasta and stuff.
Yeah. You go through
Yeah.
there. It's pretty around there, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty all the way to there. And then once you get south of there,
Redding.
it's like there's
There's
nothing to look
There's
at.
like
Redding's
farmlands,
cool,
right?
and
Like
then-
open
Just
fields.
dirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dirt and buildings.
Dude, I saw it snowed at
Almond
your
trees.
house. How was
Yeah.
that? Your mom.
The heck? It's never snowed that late in the year in my whole life. They said they haven't had snow in April in Portland for like 40 years or something.
Maybe in like 5 more years, it'll be like we'll just switch the earth around, and we might have winter during summer, and summer will be like
Just gonna change the hemispheres.
December will like be the spring.
It's pretty cool.
Like, that'd be kind of cool to switch it up every like 5 years. It switched, like the whole earth rotated.
Oh my
The
God,
magnetic
just
poles
flipped
do
over.
switch. They do randomly switch, but not like that.
It's not gonna change the way that it's not gonna flip the
No.
whole planet
It doesn't
upside
Okay.
the whole
down.
planet doesn't flip.
Oh,
That'd be cool though.
there was a video, you guys, that these guys were going out fishing, and Margot, I saw it on TikTok, and I was like, the beach looks so familiar. I was like, that looks like Marina, or like it looks like the big sand dune, like a long stretch of beach. And the fisherman pulls up to 2 girls, and
Oh
like,
yeah, no, that happened there. Yeah.
And
was
what?
it old or is it new? And it just
No,
Wait,
it
what
just
happened?
happened. It just
Yes.
happened. These
And-
2 girls were swimming at the beach when I think that day that it was really hot last week. And
Yeah.
they got stuck in a rip current and they got pulled away from the shore. And some fishermen that were out salmon fishing found them and rescued them. And they were like almost hypothermic by the time they got them out of the water.
Yeah, they like
Wow.
or like, dude, they were out, and like when they got them onto the boat, they like basically fell over. Like, dude, you know,
Yeah, they like collapsed. They were so cold.
like
yeah.
the water's cold. Like you can get in the water, but like not for that long. And they were out, like they were like a quarter. It looked
Yeah.
like they were like in the video almost a quarter mile off the beach. But yeah, I just barely saw the power plants, but I couldn't get it to stop in that second. I was trying, but
Yeah.
I was like, babe, that is the Moss Landing power plants. Like,
No,
for
yeah,
sure.
it definitely happened. And yeah,
Oh, that's horrible.
Can you like that is so scary.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, they're lucky that those guys stopped and saw them, because like if it's just your head bobbing out of the water and you don't have any bright colors on you, like
Yeah, you
a
look like
boat might
freaking
get
sea
way
otter.
too close before they realize you're a person.
It's so odd, like so crazy that it's just pulling them away from the beach. Like they couldn't get to
Mhm.
the beach.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're in a
Sometimes
rip current, what do you
Float on
do?
your
You gotta
back, float on
swim
your
out,
back
swim
and-
parallel.
Swim
Yeah, but
parallel to the shore.
Yeah, and then float on your back when you get tired because
Yep.
it'll be a while to get in. Sheesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, they're very lucky that someone saw them.
Scary.
Okay, so now we can get started. So thank you to everyone that supports us in some way, shape, or form, whether that's Patreon, coming on trips, listening to the podcast, rating or reviewing the podcast, telling people about it. We really, really, really appreciate you all sticking with us and also just supporting the work that we do. It means a lot to us. We got a email the other day from someone who works at a Dolphin watch I think in Delaware, and they sent us an email saying that they love the podcast, and I was like, oh, thanks, like that's so nice of you to say. So
That's cool.
yeah, I've seen dolphins off the coast of Delaware, so if you want to go watch dolphins in Delaware, go for it.
I don't even know where Delaware is.
Right next to New Hampshire, where I don't know where that is either.
Or Maine. He's like, where the heck is Maine?
No, I know where that is.
Keep going
Maine's
up.
easy. Maine's the furthest one. But
Delaware
all
is like
those
a
other
weird one in the middle after Jersey.
it's like Rhode
Well,
Island or something.
First off, wait, hold on, let me pull up the map for
No
you.
offense if it's from Rhode Island.
But I'm
But
pretty
let me pull
sure-
up Google Earth.
Well, they messed up when I mean we've talked about this before, but they messed up when they put what was it?
Massachusetts.
Boston, yeah, Boston's
Boston's
supposed to be
above New
way
York.
below like New Jersey. Like
New York. Yeah.
it makes no sense that it's above them.
Like when I went to New York last fall, Slater's like, wait, you went south to get to New York? I was like, yeah, Boston is
It
north.
makes no sense.
It is?
I know. It makes no sense. I don't think they taught it in school. I really think that it's something that needs to be addressed because it's not above it. And for some reason they have it wrong on the map. But really,
Oh man.
Where the hell is Boston? I'm
it
confused.
even makes sense. Like the way New York comes off on that peninsula, it should connect to Nova Scotia. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
It's the arm motions for me, Slater. Just
Oh yeah, it is north.
Someone messed that up for real. Because I wonder when it changed. I gotta look up when they changed it. When did
I thought-
Boston-
I thought it was more like Philadelphia area.
I
That's just
mean, Philadelphia is not that far from there either.
Yeah, but that's where I thought that's south of New York. That's exactly where I thought Boston was.
Yeah, no. Oh, you thought Boston and Philadelphia were near each other. No.
Yeah. I swear I've been there too. So
No, it's like as you go down the eastern seaboard, it's like Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts,
I think
New
it's
Jersey.
also in your mind, you think of New York as
Well,
as just
Rhode
like the
Island,
hub too, though. like,
Connecticut, New Jersey.
man, I'm usually pretty good with geography, but that's kind of sad of me and Slater.
not me, dude. I never said I was good at geography.
What'd you do for your chart for your captain's class?
I had Virginia,
Chesapeake.
Chesapeake Bay, Virginia.
Yeah, I did Long Island Sound, which was like Connecticut and New York.
Chesapeake Bay, Virginia. I don't even know where that is, dude.
I went through the Chesapeake
Norfolk. I remember all this, man.
with
I do.
our chart plotter actually stopped working when we got to the Chesapeake, so we just winged it.
I do think it's
Obviously
funny
the best
that
of us.
I have to have a chart on my boat that literally the chart, if I unroll it, is as big as my whole back deck. So it's like, hold on, let me take my bench seats out so I can get a good place to lay this down.
Can't do my 3-point fix.
Oh, and then I can't use my protractor. So
All right, so other announcements we have our April trips. We have 7 seats left on Friday. Saturday
6.
sold out, and then 6 on Sunday.
Dang, we're almost there.
And you can find everything you want to know about the trips on thewhalenerds.com. You can also see our blog there. You can buy merch there. And then also we have video versions of our episodes from episode 100 onward. So if you want to see me like losing it just now while Slater's like pointing about the map in the video, You can check that out on our YouTube. We also have a beach cleanup going on for Earth Day after our first whale watch of the weekend on April 22nd. So if you want to join us, we'll be meeting at 2:30 at the Moss Landing Viewpoint parking lot. And we'll be cleaning Moss Landing State Beach from 2:30 to 4:30. We will be providing grain bags from Alvarado Street Brewery. Thank you very much for donating those to us. And we'll bring, we'll have gloves for you, but if you want to bring your own PPE or your own trash pickers or anything like that, we definitely recommend it. Also, please bring sun protection and water. And you can either park right there at the check-in location, or you can park in Moss Landing Harbor and then walk around Jetty Road to come meet us. So yeah, that's free. You can RSVP on our Facebook page if you want, but also you could just show up at 2:30. We would love to have you help us clean the beach for Earth Day.
Time to get in.
We get in at 1:30.
Okay.
Unless
Grab a snack
something
to go from lemongrass.
What if we have 1,000 people show up for the beach cleanup?
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
And then
Then it's gonna be one clean beach.
we clean.
Yeah.
We just like break out, and then they just go like towards Santa Cruz and towards Monterey. They just clean the entire thing.
Have people just go around to the other side of the jetty.
I guess they have to walk around the harbor, but we'll just build a bridge for them. Dude, that you could like really clean the whole beach if you set out to do it.
Really could.
Dude, Amanda and I and like some other people, some of our other friends, we did beach cleanup back at that same spot we did earlier this year at like next to Kahului Harbor. Oh my God. We filled 18 bags in an hour and a half.
Yeah, all it takes is one windy day to show a bunch of stuff up. Like,
Well, and then there was like, I think there was like a pile of stuff that had sort of been formed by the wind, or somebody that had been trying to clean up the beach, but then had nowhere to put all the trash. So they like piled it up right by the parking lot. And then like other people just added their regular trash to it. And like just that one spot took us like an hour to clean. It was just this mountain of garbage. It was horrible. Oh, it smelled so bad. There was like food and like, oh, we found a scorpion. It was gnarly.
That's cool.
I mean, it was cool, but it was really gross.
Sounds pretty gross.
Yeah, but we picked up a lot of stuff. That's for sure.
we'll be there or be square.
Yeah, we'd love to see you over the weekend, whether it's at a beach cleanup or on a trip. It'd be really awesome. So, sightings. Did you guys go on the water?
Got a whole bunch of trips this week, Caitlin.
I'm sorry.
Nah, I guess I would have canceled them anyways because of the weather. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Oh, actually, kind of funny. Last trip we ran, we went to our like local humpback spot and there was nothing there. So my
So did you
theory,
get skunked?
no, we found one at the very end, but we only got one look at it as it was diving because we were so late. And we found a big pot of dolphins. But then the next trip we found nothing. And my theory is that we had a bunch of Newport people on the boat and they brought their Newport luck to Santa Barbara.
My
the whales are
theory is
gone.
that they all swam up to Monterey already.
my theory is they. I hate to say it, Adam, but Monterey just seems to be the place where they like to be. Imagine they
Nah.
just all leave here and we have no humpbacks the entire summer.
Don't say that.
It
Let's
can't
see that, bro.
happen. Literally,
Caitlin's moving back.
this has been going on since before I was alive.
Don't say that.
No, it's okay. I know exactly where they went. They went to the
Monterey.
the coastline.
Yeah, 41 and
No.
53. There's 30 of them out there. They said that.
No. Ours moved like coastally, but like way further, I guess, west.
Yeah, Big Sur, Monterey.
No, it's north.
Yeah, but you
So-
kind of got to go northwest to get around that point.
They're
So
around there.
you get-
They're around there somewhere.
What, like Gaviota?
Yeah, they're at Gaviota. I got a bunch of reports from people just like looking at them from shore from Gaviota. But
Oh, there's a. Oh, I thought that was called All Right. I was like, there's a point called All Right, but it's Our Light.
yeah.
It's above Gaviota.
Well,
But yeah,
I saw
mean,
whales.
I haven't seen crap really.
I can't believe there's still whales in Maui. Like, I'm actually nervous about going to work tomorrow because I'm like, am I gonna find them?
Like, how mad could
Really?
it be? Oh, it's warm blue water and it's beautiful.
Yeah,
You
but
know
there's
what
no food.
No, but I'm saying, how mad could your passengers be when it's so beautiful?
Oh, well, it's not been that nice. Like the channel's been pretty ugly.
Dang.
So
What do you mean?
like
There's freaking like 12 million humpbacks to go to Maui every year. There's gonna be some that stick around.
there are a few around. So the last couple trips I ran after we recorded the last episode, there's still whales around, but they're starting to get more and more difficult to watch. So
Yeah.
we got really lucky with we came up on the end of a competition group, and like for a while we followed one whale that was like leaving the group, and I didn't realize that it was. And then I was like, wait a second, there's only one whale here. Like, let's circle back around and go find the rest of the group. And all that was left was the mom, calf, and escort. And they were resting after, running around a whole bunch. And at one point, we just shut the boat off and like we're hanging with the calf. And then the escort flew out of the water right next to the boat. Like,
Dang.
right next to the boat. It was so cool. And he was like breaching like forward and then like had his pec fins out wide. Like, you know how they do that weird little
Yeah.
He did that like 3 or 4 times and then started pec slapping. And then the mom came up and then they made a couple of nice close passes by the boat. But that was like one of the last nice encounters I had with whales. The rest of that day, they're staying down like 15 minutes and like moving, and it was rough, and like the only moms and calves we found were going up into the wind, and I was like, oh. We're getting to the end of whale season here. It's getting tough. Only have 3 more days. I hope I can find whales all 3 days.
Damn.
The latest sighting of a humpback in Maui, like July, August,
June. Yeah, and the earliest is October.
June. That's kind of weak.
Wow, dude.
Like if they say till July or August, I'd be like, okay, now you're crazy.
Now you're a boss.
But maybe not though.
Do you think?
We don't know when they left. What if they left 3 months late? You know what I mean? Like there's like, I'm hungry.
Do you think that there's that whales and a lot like there's a better chance for whales to stick in their feeding grounds year round than it is for their breeding grounds, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
There's no food.
Yeah.
I mean, there was
100%.
technically there was humpbacks in, I think, every single month of the year here.
Yeah, same here.
So.
And that's like, especially in California, that's kind of tricky because those whales could be coming and going from multiple feeding grounds or breeding grounds.
Further up. Yeah.
So what I really want to know is how long one single individual was sighted throughout can you prove that one individual whale was there all winter? There were whales, but were they different whales that were coming and going? So there was always humpbacks present, but different individuals. That's what I would really want to know.
Oh, I think all the humpbacks that have been seen throughout the winter months and like even now, some of them actually we're starting to see some regulars this week, I think.
Yeah.
But they're like BC whales, like British Columbia, like
so then it's like, did they
Oregon
come down and just stop in Monterey for the winter, or did they like go to Hawaii and then cut back up to Monterey before they go up to BC? Because I think that's a route too, where they like maybe they go straight to Hawaii to get there, but on their way back they come up they hit across to California and then go up.
Yeah, because I think one of the first whales that was sighted in Hawaiian Islands and here was like Eureka. So like it came probably straight across, just north of us.
So
well,
I'm sure in another couple years, Happy Whale will have it figured out.
Since we're on the subject of Maui.
Yeah. We're going to talk about spinner dolphins. Hawaiian spinner dolphins.
I would love to see one of those.
They are.
Oh, you didn't see one?
No.
They're pretty cool.
Maybe Adam's bad luck. I'm starting to.
I know, dude. I didn't even pet
it all the time.
I didn't even pet a whale. Yeah, but then I went on that streak there where we had the freaking Rizzo's hunt, we had the blue whale day, we had the Dall's porpoise day, we had the freaking Smileys. So I'm chilling, dude.
I mean,
it
all
doesn't
right.
matter, dude. The ocean just gives you what it wants when it wants. There
Yeah,
ain't
that's true.
You can try as hard as you want, but they ain't there. They ain't there.
Yep. All right. So spinner dolphins. What is a spinner dolphin? They are one of the most frequently encountered cetaceans around the nearshore waters of Pacific Islands, but you can actually see them offshore in tropical waters pretty much all around the world. They are one of the most acrobatic species. They get their name spinner dolphin because they leap out of the air and then they spin like longitudinally. Is that right? Is that the right word?
Longitudinally.
And they can spin up to 7 times before they fall back into the water.
Yeah, well, I can do 8.
Well, okay. Yeah, seriously. They have a fairly triangular dorsal fin and a very long beak. And they're usually 5 to 7 feet long and they weigh less than 200 pounds. So they're not super big.
They're like common dolphin size.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a common dolphin, but like a more triangular shaped dorsal fin and all gray. No,
yeah,
they're
yellow. they're like a common dolphin gone goth.
Sort of. Sure. They are a nocturnal hunter, so they tend to feed at night on small fish, shrimp, and squid. They usually feed in about 650 to 1,000 feet depth, and they take advantage of the vertical migration at night of deep sea creatures where they come up higher to the surface layers of the water at nighttime, and then they spend a lot of time resting near shore and shallow water during the day. So they are encountered around Hawaii very often, but you can also see them in the North Pacific. You can see them around Central America, offshore of Mexico, and then they also find them in the Indian and Western side of the Pacific Oceans too. So that's spinner dolphins. Okay, so Hawaiian spinner dolphins have been in the news a lot because there was a pretty big industry of ecotourism, a pretty big section of the ecotourism industry in Hawaii that was dedicated to swimming with them. Now, the tours operate during the daytime, obviously, because that's when people are going out on boats, but that's when the dolphins are sleeping. So NOAA has come out with some new rulings. The most recent change to the ruling was September 28th of 2021. They finalized the rule and it's guided by the Marine Mammal Protection Act. So it says it prohibits swimming with, approaching, or remaining within 50 yards of a Hawaiian spinner dolphin. The rule applies to any vessel, person, or object, including boats, canoes, stand-up paddleboards, drones, and any other means that is within 2 nautical miles from shore in the main Hawaiian Islands and in designated waters bounded by the islands of Lanai, Maui, and Kaho'olawe. This rule also prohibits the approach by interception or placing a vessel, person, or other object in the path of a spinner dolphin so that the dolphin approaches within 50 yards of the vessel, person, or object. So there are 8 exceptions to these prohibitions listed in the regulations, and I'll read them off for you. So people who inadvertently come within 50 yards of Hawaiian spinner dolphins or are approached by a spinner dolphin, provided they make no effort to engage or pursue the animal and take immediate steps to move away from it. So if the dolphin comes to you, you just need to like stand by and then get out of the way.
And then get out, yeah.
Yeah. Vessels that are underway and approached by a spinner dolphin, provided that they continue normal navigation and make no effort to engage or pursue the animal. So if they come off course and start bow riding, just keep doing what you're doing. Vessels transiting to or from a port, harbor, or a restricted channel to maintain safe navigation when 50 yards distance will not allow the vessel to maintain safe navigation. So if you're coming to and from port,
yeah,
and you can't go off course.
Yeah. Restricted in your maneuvers.
Vessel operations necessary to avoid imminent and serious threats. Vessels that are anchored or aground and approached by spinner dolphins, provide that the vessel makes no effort to engage or pursue the animal. I would think you're probably not going to make an effort to pursue the dolphins if you're anchored or if you're aground. People or vessels conducting activities authorized through a NOAA permit, government vessels and personnel conducting official duties, and commercial vessels that accidentally take a spinner dolphin during normal fishing operations, provided they're operating legally according to the Marine Mammal Protection Act. So
the only one I don't get is like, I mean, I guess I understand it's you have to keep like you're not allowed to actively like turn your boat with the dolphins. You have to like keep going. But it's like if the dolphin wants to hang out, like who are you to tell it no? You know what I mean?
But I mean, yeah, as long as you're not turning into the pod further, you know, like you're just maintaining your course and speed. That's like,
but it's like imagine if they did that.
Love the boat.
Imagine if they did that here with commons. Like people would have a freaking cow. But then again, people aren't swimming with commons like on a daily basis.
Yeah. So talking to you guys know Haley Newell. Yeah, so she worked in Oahu at one of those companies, and she said it was pretty gnarly. Like they would leapfrog ahead of a pod of swimming dolphins and then like just drop all the snorkelers on the top of them. And she was like, it was not cool. So like it was definitely getting out of hand in Hawaii. So that's kind of the new.
I don't understand how that's legal in the where's the legality in that in the first place? You know, it's like
it was just because
people swim with pilot whales there too. Like I don't really understand.
That's in Kona, yeah. So I think some of that is because it's happening offshore, out of state waters. So it's like jurisdiction starts to get real blurry. But with the spinner dolphins, it's happening very close to shore. People are swimming from the beach.
Sure, yeah.
People are paddling out to them. People are dropping off boatloads of people in front of them. Because the spinner dolphins especially are very predictable in some parts of the Hawaiian Islands as far as like where they're going to be every morning while they rest. So to take this another step further, NOAA is also considering a time area closure method. So like from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. in parts of the Big Island and also parts of Maui, you can't be in that zone at all. Like you cannot swim there, you cannot be in a kayak there, you can't be in a boat there. It's a closed zone to protect the animals.
That'll affect like the Lanai trips, right? When you go across, that's usually every time I've seen them, they're over there.
Yeah, there is a zone that's time area closed over there already that you can't take the boat in there.
So it's funny because if you look up like, you know, Pacific white-sided dolphins and like the first link is fisheries, you know, it's NOAA. And a little like preview of the text, it goes, these extremely playful dolphins are often seen bow riding. It's like
yeah,
and jumping and somersaulting and even spinning in the air. But it's like
so with spinner dolphins, part of why I wanted to like look all this up is because I was curious about it. You know, since I drive a boat in an area where you encounter them, I wanted to make sure I had a good handle on the rules. And with spinners, some mornings they're a lot like Rizzos, where they're sleeping and they don't really want to engage with the boat at all. They're just in their little tight-knit group and you can tell they're napping. And so that's where I'm like, yeah, definitely stay at least 50 yards away, let them do their thing. You may not get great looks at them because they're not very big, and 50 yards away is quite a distance for an animal that size. But it's like they're sleeping. You got to let them do their thing.
Do the thing, yeah.
But there are other days where like I saw the group, I was more than 50 yards away. They turned course and started bow riding. And I'm like, well, I'm going to stay on the outside of the group and just like let them do their thing. Like, you know, and it took a while. Like I had to turn way off course, like 40 degrees off course to get them to leave the bow of the boat.
Are they endangered or threatened?
Yeah.
I think they are threatened.
You're like Pacific white-sided dolphins are not endangered or threatened.
Let's see what the status is.
So that's right.
Conservation and management, protected under Marine Mammal Protection Act.
But like, yeah, well, what's their status? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
It doesn't say it for some reason. I can't find it. I'll look.
Depleted. They're considered depleted.
And is the Hawaiian spinner dolphin its own like subspecies? Is it its own population?
They're a subspecies of Gray's spinner dolphin. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, then they should definitely be treated differently. Like
yeah. Well, and these protections are applicable to Hawaii. Gotcha. So
I mean, it just in the first place, it's like I
that's why it's like the whole swim with animals. It just has to be done at I do think it can be done, and
I think it can be done.
I think it has to be done at a right time. And it's like if you clearly have to keep putting yourself in front of the animal, it's just like that captain that we had in Maui. He goes, I go over, I take a look at the mom and calf. If the mom and calf turn and go away from us multiple times, I just go find a new mom and calf or a new, set of whales to look at, because clearly I'm not going to waste my time, trying to follow a whale. It doesn't want to be seen. So it's like, you can easily see that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
when you
Yeah,
work
that's
on
the thing.
water.
It's just
So
when
it's
you, but
like,
when you put people that don't know what they're doing or can't read animal behaviors on it, and you make something like that available, and it's like you said, it's like not even
well, what
eco
happens
tour
is,
companies at that point. It's just people randomly doing it that
well,
don't
what
know what they're
happens
doing.
is like a company, you know, it's like, oh, it starts off with just a couple, but the demand is so high that
Yep.
there's like, we
Yep.
have to try to do it every day because,
Yep.
you know, that's
Yep.
thousands of dollars a day you're missing out on if you don't do it. So it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. The people pleasing aspect of it is hard because you're right. Like that captain, that was awesome that they explained that to the guests and was like,
yeah, that's
I'm
like the
not
best
going to
way
stick
I've
with
heard
these
it.
guys because they don't want to be watched. And there's plenty of other choices. But like, if the captain or the crew doesn't take that time to explain it to the people, they're like, why are you driving away from the whale? Like, this is BS. Like, I didn't pay for this, for that experience. And it's like, okay, well, there is a method
See
here.
a
100
robust
more.
a robust estimate for the population size of spinner dolphins is only available.
Available when?
It froze.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. He'll come back. Anyways, rough estimate, something. So
Can you hear me? I'm back.
Oh, you're back. What happened?
Okay. I don't know. It just froze. It says the Hawaii island stock is 600, and there's an Oahu 4 island stock is estimated to be 300. So yeah, that's pretty small.
Yeah. So there's a couple like question and answer pages that I'll provide links to in the Facebook page, but like, what are essential daytime habitats and why is undisturbed daytime rest important for Hawaiian spinner dolphins? And they write, spinner dolphins have very specific behavior pattern of hunting at night and resting during the day. During the day, dolphins use areas close to shore that have optimal environmental conditions for dolphins to socialize, nurture their young, and shelter from predators, and rest in preparation for the nightly foraging. These specific areas are considered spinner dolphin essential daytime habitats. So that's like defining the term they're using in the regulations. Spinner dolphins disturbed during this rest period may engage in avoidance or distress behaviors, and lack of consistent and undisturbed rest periods can reduce the amount of energy available to them for foraging at night and caring for their young. The rate of chronic exposure of Hawaiian spinner dolphins in their daytime essential habitat may place resident stocks at risk through habitat displacement or reduced fitness, as seen in other dolphin populations. So because it is a very specific group of animals in a very specific place, they're much more susceptible to chronic disturbance.
Yeah.
I can see that. I mean, I feel kind of similar about the Rizzos. Like,
yeah,
I personally like. I definitely, you can get good looks at Rizzos, but I when I hear them on the radio and it's like and I can see that my passengers, because they can hear the radio, right? I'm
Yeah.
like, usually the Rizzos are far. They're always in Monterey, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like 12 miles.
they're right
So it's
off
like,
Cannery Row. Yeah.
most of the time I'm probably not gonna go anyways, but it's like I'm always like, oh, I feel bad because I hope they don't think I'm like just not going. But it's like it might not be the greatest show either, and we run all the way over there when we could
Yeah.
potentially see something else, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah, I just don't. I love Rizzo too. Like I love the dolphin species. I just don't think they're my favorite to watch. I don't know.
Yeah. No, they're definitely.
They can be hard to watch sometimes. That's just the way
Yeah.
it is. You know? And like you shouldn't push it if they are hard to watch. You know, it's like if they don't want to be watched, then they'll make it pretty obvious.
I do want a Rizzo tattoo though, so I mean,
Yeah, me too.
just so you know, I like them. I just
Yeah, no, it's like
They're
I like
not-
them. I like them too, but I don't want to, be
harass
like
them. Like
the 10th boat that's looked at them while they're trying to
Yeah.
take a nap. Like
yeah, if that's what they're doing, I'm not saying they are. I don't know exactly what
Yeah.
they're doing there.
sometimes they're
just-
not.
they're
Sometimes they're
joking.
hunting during the day. Sometimes they're traveling.
They are a hard dolphin to read. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're not like. It's like, I don't know. It's just funny. They're just doing their own thing. It's not like I almost feel like I can communicate with Whitesides and Commons and Bonos. But the Rizzo, it's just like.
Yeah,
just
dude, they're
like
turned off to the world. They're
foreign
like, "Nah."
language, dude. Like, isn't that funny? Like, do you get what I mean by that? It's just like the other ones, they come over and you're like, we're friends.
Yeah, but then the Rizzos are
just
like,
I'm right
"Nah."
next to you, but nah, like, yeah.
I'm good over here. You good over there?
That's funny.
Okay, so a little more details on the different stocks. So in 2010, National Marine Fisheries Service recognized 5 island associated stocks and 1 pelagic stock of Hawaiian spinner dolphins,
There we
and
go.
they do have genetic distinctions as well as geographic residency patterns. So 3 of the 5 island associated stocks are Kauai and Niihau, Oahu and Maui County, and then Hawaiian Island. And then there are 3 stocks that reside in waters around their namesakes around up to 10 nautical miles from shore. None of these stocks are depleted or strategic, but population estimates for each stock are a small number of individuals. And then it talks more about like their patterns, and then how they came up with those essential daytime habitats. This is like the full-on like press release information from NOAA with the ruling. This is like the rationale piece. In 2001, the International Fund for Animal Welfare reported an emerging dolphin watching industry in Hawaii as whale watch operators looked for year-round tour options. In 2017, it was estimated that there were 100 tour operators providing tours that enabled direct interactions with spinner dolphins in the main Hawaiian
Really?
Islands, such as swim with tours. In addition to commercial tour operations, visitors, local residents, and participants in dolphin associated retreats also independently access spinner dolphin populations from shore by swimming, kayaking, paddleboarding, or using other watercraft. So this got pretty out of hand.
That is absolutely out of hand.
So
That's just another reason why like we can't have things like
yeah, once one person does it, everybody wants to do it.
yeah. Just,
So there were a whole bunch of like alternatives considered during this decision-making process. Alternative 1 is to take no action, continue to let people do that. Alternative 2 was to come up with guidelines that were swim with regulation guidelines. Alternative 3 was swim with and approach regulation guidelines. And then alternative 3A was swim with and 50-yard approach regulations. Alternative 3B was swim with and 100-yard approach regulations. Alternative 4 was mandatory time area closures in the 5 essential daytime habitats and swim with and approach regulations. And alternative 5 was voluntary time area closures in the 5 selected habitats, swim with and approach regulations. And so they sort of go through this whole like chart of how they decided what to go with. I believe they're going with alternative 3A, which is NIMS would prohibit swimming with and approaching Hawaiian spinner dolphins within 50 yards by any means. These prohibitions apply to all forms of swimming with and approaching in water or air. Forms of approaching spinner dolphins include, but are not limited to, swimming, operating a manned or unmanned, motorized or non-motorized, self-propelled or human-propelled, or submersible propelled.
How many times can you say it?
Operating an unmanned aircraft system or drone, and swimming at the water surface or underwater, such as scuba or free diving. This also includes the approach by interception, in other words, placing a vessel or person in the path of an oncoming spinner dolphin so that the dolphin swims within 50 yards of that person or vessel, also known as leapfrogging. This alternative is consistent with the Dolphin Smart Program criteria, which is already a campaign through NIMS and NIMS code guidelines, which advise boaters to stay 50 yards away from marine mammals to prevent disturbance. So that's the option they went with. That's what I read off at the beginning of the episode. And there's all kinds of like more details and rationale for that alternative. If you want to read it, I'll provide this in the Facebook comments with the show notes. So why did I want to talk about it at all? Besides, one, I wanted to know about it. Well, did you catch that when I said a dolphin retreat swimming from shore?
Dolphin retreats.
That's written explicitly in these guidelines or rationale that there's all those tour operators plus all these people doing it from shore. So there's a lawsuit that is now surfaced about the rule banning swimming with dolphins in Hawaii. So here's the article I came across. A ban by NOAA prohibiting people from swimming with spinner dolphins in Hawaii is being challenged in court. The rule is unconstitutional, according to Pacific Legal Foundation, a national nonprofit that defends Americans threatened by government overreach and abuse that filed a lawsuit on behalf of several plaintiffs. It's accusing NOAA of overstepping its bounds and allowing a civil servant not appointed by the president or confirmed by the Senate to instill a rule not within their legal authority.
Oh my God.
NOAA Fisheries finalized these rules in September, and it banned people from swimming with, approaching, or remaining within 50 yards of spinner dolphins. It applies to any person, object, boats, canoes, paddleboards, drones, etc. The regulation was meant to protect spinner dolphins against disturbance and intense viewing pressures from commercial and recreational wildlife viewers. The Pacific Legal Foundation said the ban was an unlawful move by a low-level federal bureaucrat who destroyed a business avenue central to the livelihoods of many Hawaiians. Dolphin guide Lisa Denning lost 90% of her business after the ban, according to this legal group. Another business owner, Shelley Carey, who is a boat captain and runs Dolphin Discovery, saw a dramatic drop in revenue. I'm assuming that these people mostly made their money off swim with tours.
Yeah. Could you imagine, how fun it is?
Yeah. Dolphins? And you're like, and now your whole business is illegal. So, small business owners and mental health professionals in Hawaii filed a lawsuit Wednesday, pushing back against what they call Hawaii-specific regulation. Pacific Legal Foundation, who is representing the group for free, said professionals who depended on the industry are now struggling. One of the plaintiffs, Eliza Wiley, works as a therapist and said she can no longer conduct an important part of her practice, which included swimming with dolphins.
Oh my God.
This powerful form of experiential therapy draws out emotions in patients who have difficulty in traditional talk therapy settings. This ban completely shuts down this mode of therapy without regard for the value individuals receive from interacting with playful animals, despite the lack of harm to the Hawaiian spinner dolphin population. The prohibition of dolphin interactions also threatens the tourism industry that relies heavily on respectful interactions with wildlife. Especially when regulations have devastating implications for businesses and individuals, it is crucial that decision makers can be held accountable. Under the Constitution, issuing regulations is the job appointed of officials who answer to the democratic process, not low-level bureaucrats.
Damn. These are freaking, those are some Karens if I've ever heard some Karens.
Who knew? Swim with dolphin therapy. Who knew?
Well,
I see where they're coming from, right? It's their business and they've built their business on it, but they built their business around something that was going to be taken away at some point or another.
I mean, you can say that about whale watching. They'd say it. And on top of that, though, think about this. They don't just shut down commercial fishing or commercial lobster or crab or any of it. And what's the main reason behind that? Because it feeds and supports and it's a business. And like,
I guess so.
So it's kind of like, I mean, it
goes both ways.
It's pretty funny that they'll quickly shut down that, but not, fishing. So. Yeah. And they have shut down certain fishing stuff. I'm not saying they have.
They definitely and they push back.
I just didn't even know that was like a part of the industry.
I remember
I had no idea that people did therapy by swimming with wild animals.
I remember one of the people on social medias that's like big in this region or whatever was like furious about this, and I couldn't really understand why at the moment. And I get it to an extent, but it's like there's so many other things to do in Hawaii. I feel like can't you watch something else?
Not that much there though.
I mean, you can still watch dolphins. You just can't swim with them. Watch them from 50 yards away.
Only thing I'll say is if you're actually like just swimming at the beach and the dolphins come over to you, like they could get away from you. So it's kind of like that's where I say like you're just a pedestrian going to the beach. But if you're paying for a snorkel tour and they're like taking you, I understand that part of it. Yeah. But I kind of like if I was at the beach and dolphins came over, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably not gonna get out right away. Like, what do you mean?
No, for sure.
Like I'm gonna like. I mean, the thing is the Islanders and I'm gonna take a photo, right? That's my whole goal. Is like I'd want to get a photo of it. But if I'm just snorkeling around looking at some turtles and the dolphins swim up to me, is like.
But that's the dolphin approached you at that point. Yeah, the dolphin approached you at that point though. So like that's you're just supposed to just stand by till you can safely remove yourself from the situation.
Yeah. So I guess, I mean, if that's the rule and you can stand by for, I mean, how long can you stand by for? You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's
30
still a
minutes,
gray
like,
area.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you stay for 30 minutes, he's still circling you. It's like, sorry, I guess I can't leave, dude. You're still by me. I'm here for 45 days. He never left me.
Yeah, but I mean, like 100 tour operators plus all those shore-based excursions and experiences.
That's a lot.
Like
See, that's the thing. That's the thing with these
How
things.
many
They
operators?
could absolutely do something like this and do it responsibly if they had the right captains and the right companies in place that could read the animals right.
But
and
then who gets to be the judge of that?
Well,
You apply for a permit. You apply for it through NOAA, whatever, and there's 5 companies that do it, and that's it. And they're regulated to 2 boats each, whatever the case is.
That's kind of how it is with
whales.
the DR. That's how Swim with Whales is in the DR. There's only three companies permitted to go out there. It's a maximum of 600 passengers a season.
Like
That's the way it should be.
Like,
yeah, so Lagoons of Baja, exactly.
Just like you can only go swim with humpback whales from 9 a.m. to 11. And then after that, they're like, that's it. And there's only 5 boats allowed to do it. And you all have to have your own whale. So if you don't have your own whale and the whale, like, and that's another thing. You can't do the thing where you drop yourself off. That's not swimming with
In
the whale.
front of it's not. It's
the
not.
whale. You have to find a humpback that is literally
curious.
No, like the humpbacks that mug your boat. Those are the
Yeah,
whales
those
that
you can get in
the
with.
water with. But
I
it
agree.
can't be one that you're hopping in front of. Like, yeah, I'm gonna jam up. Like that's how they do the blue whale swims. And it's like, dude, you're not swimming with a blue whale.
Yeah.
Like
you're chasing a blue whale. You're
There's-
getting
like,
in the water looking at it.
kind of if you think about it at all, the only way to swim with the blue whale would be in the feeding ground, or well, I guess they're kind of always in the feeding ground, right? But like while they're feeding, because when they come up in Monterey, right, they do a circle there for like 10 minutes. So they circle the exact spot they're going to be, and then they go down. That's the only time you'd be able to swim with the blue whale is if it was circling. But if it's traveling, you ain't swim with no blue whale, dude. What are you gonna do? Like one kick, it's 100 feet long.
Yeah,
like, it's gone. So I do think it could be done, but yeah, I have like what happened is they allowed so many companies with no regulation, and then it ended up screwing the companies in the end because
it just got out of hand.
It could have been like 3 spots on Kona instead of the whole entire coastline, right?
Yeah.
Or like whatever.
And it was happening around Oahu a lot too. So yeah, I understand how people are devastated, right? Because you built your entire business around it and you literally have like nothing. But I think that it is with the Dolphins' best interest at heart.
Absolutely.
And they didn't completely remove the option of dolphin viewing. They just removed the swim with.
Especially if there's like, I didn't realize the population was that small. Like,
yeah,
only 600, dude. Think about it. Like we have 600 in a small pod of commons. Like we have 600 dolphins in a small pod here off the coast.
Literally.
Like 600 is not that big.
It's not. See, but then I feel like we were pretty supportive of, or we were not in support of the stuff that happened with the Southern residents.
Yeah,
there's no one swimming with them.
Yeah.
And they're blaming, it's because of what they're blaming it on, the Southern residents. They're choosing to blame the fact that these animals are what's it called?
Starving to death.
Starving based on like engine noise and too many whale watch boats and all these things, when like the straight up fact is that they've dammed off all of the places where these salmon go to spawn. And so they're not spawning as much.
No, not popular.
Adam,
he keeps freezing.
Frozen.
Yeah, the Hawaiian spinner dolphins, I don't think there's a concern that they're not foraging enough at night. It's just they're burning too much energy during the day. There's enough food around. They're just not getting a chance to rest, which it's in the same vein. That's a concern for Southern residents, but there's also no food at all. So they're already chronically stressed.
That's
and there's no changes in, you're not removing vessels from the water with the regulations they made. So I have a hard time following the train of thought that it's like acoustic vessel disturbance when you're not changing what the ferry does, or the military, or all the cargo ships, or the cruise ships that are going to start coming in there again. Like, you're not actually removing anyone from the situation with those rules.
That's true. Very true.
Wait, what is this? Wait, you're saying there's how many spinner dolphins are there?
There's different island stocks that seem to stick local to different islands, and there's
Because I like tried to
a
Google
600 and a 300.
Yeah, what the heck is this number that I'm kind of with? I wrote has the spinner dolphins of Hawaii or the Hawaiian population declined? And it says over the last 20 years, the total population in those waters has declined about 80% from 2 million to 400,000.
That's probably the offshore, like Eastern
Yeah.
North Pacific. So this, according to NOAA's website, if you click on the population highlights, it says protected status. A robust estimate for population size of spinner dolphins is only available for the Hawaiian Island stock, which is estimated to be about 600 animals. The Kauai Nihihau stock is estimated to be around 600, and the Oahu 4 Island stock is estimated to be around 300.
Is that in
Both of these
Maui?
estimates lack data from the stock's full ranges. Yeah, the Oahu 4 Island stock is Oahu and the 4 islands of Maui County.
All right, so yeah, that's a big difference. Well, I just was wondering, like, where did they come? Did they come to the conclusion that like swimming with these was burning the energy and they're not feeding or something? They're too lazy to feed at night, or like, I just want to know where they came up with the conclusion that the
this is a-
swimming affected
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, they did. They just observed a lot less resting time with the dolphins during the day.
The only reason I bring this up is because I understand like the harassment level. Like if you're, like I said, if you have to keep jumping in front of
Jumping
it,
in front of them.
that's-
Yeah.
you're not swimming
Yeah.
with dolphins. You're chasing dolphins. But if you're like in a snorkel, you take them to the snorkel zone, then the dolphins come over. I feel like they kind of are choosing to burn that energy in a way. Not saying
let me
that you
see in
should
the-
cause them to do that, but
In
I
the
agree with you.
rash,
I'm just wondering where they came up with the conclusion that it like is.
Yeah. Did they do a study on it? Like,
Yeah, that's all. I'm just curious. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. Just
I'm looking in the one document they put out.
because if they're feeding it, I mean, and isn't that it's also like we say, like, oh, a dolphin could be asleep while it's doing, its normal activities because they can shut down half their brain, right? So is it, but does it fully wake it
So
up, I
they
guess, when
they
see
use
humans?
here's the scientific literature. Scientific literature documented disturbance to individual spinner dolphins by swimming with vessels. They had a 2001 study and a 2009 study that they quoted, as well as changes to spinner dolphin group behavior patterns during daytime essential habitat use. They had a 2004, 2007, 2008. They had they had like 6 studies for that. Dolphin directed activities concentrate daily viewing and interaction pressures, followed by, Dolphin directed activities concentrate daily viewing and interaction pressures by following the main Hawaiian Island resident spinner dolphins' predictable patterns of distribution and daytime behaviors. Other small cetacean populations around the world where this has been studied, chronic disturbance to normal behavior patterns has been linked to biologically significant impacts such as habitat abandonment and reduced female reproductive success. And there's 4 papers they cited for that.
I guess I could see. I guess the habitat abandonment one. I could see them being like, we're not going to go here if they're annoyed, right?
Yeah.
But have they noticed that in the study? Did they say like they're showing up here? Like
these studies I don't think were from Hawaii, the habitat abandonment ones. They were results from other places where the same thing was happening.
Yeah, because I'm wondering if it's like, okay, since 2001 to 2009, we've noticed that we're seeing the spinner dolphins in this bay 80% less.
Mhm.
And then like they're saying, oh, it's because we're, it has to be because of the boats, right?
Mhm.
But I'm just looking at it from all the angles. It's like, what if it's
Yeah.
just because the food is somewhere else now and they have to keep, it's just been,
Yeah, exactly.
moving,
Yeah.
or like the food's been depleting because of fishing or whatever else. I mean, I wonder, I think that the overall thing is that there's too many companies doing it, and how
Yeah,
are you
for
going to
sure.
regulate it? Like,
Yeah.
it's like we either cut it down because we can't just say, oh, just Theodore and Kate get to keep going, but the rest of you guys, sorry, we have to take like we only do 2 permits. Like,
Well, this is saying
How
that
do
they
they
do
decide that?
pick their essential daytime habitats. The dolphins choose these locations because of the physical characteristics of the shoreline. So close proximity to the feeding areas, but also sandy bottom habitat. It's a location that allows them to visually detect predators during the daytime. And support. Yeah. So these locations have specific physical attributes about them that allow them to rest safely and be able to be alert for predators while they're
I
sleeping.
mean, that's the thing. Like, if they actually are noticing a change in behavior, then like, at the end of the day, it's going against the Marine Mammal Protection Act. But it's like, here watching humpbacks, it's like we're not changing their behavior. They're feeding constantly. It's like that's what they're here to
whether you're
do.
there or not there.
Exactly.
or
Like they
They'll
don't
breach
care.
whether you're there or not there. Like you can
Exactly.
literally watch it from shore if you want to.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
I
a
guess at the end of the day,
tricky-
like it is tricky, and I understand like people are upset because that's their whole business, but I
Whatever's
don't know.
best for the animal.
I kind of get it exactly.
But it just scares me because sometimes I feel like they do put rules in and it's really just like an umbrella rule because they can't fix the problem or like they won't they're not gonna be able to make it right. And so it's like kind of like,
well, and how much time and money and effort can NOAA put at this one problem to do their own due diligence and like really long-term study this at the cost of the animal's disturbance? Like how could is it worth it to do a dedicated 10-year study and look at, are the dolphins starting to leave the area, and by the time you come out with the results of that, they're like way gone and like you have had a negative impact on the population just to prove your point? Is that worth it? I don't know.
it's surprising that we don't just like study these things like already.
Well,
like,
there's
soon as
yeah,
they-
there's the problem is there's not enough money for that. Like, because they could have started studying this in the 90s and then had a good baseline to compare to, but now it's like it's 100 tour operators and you don't have anything to compare it to. Like, what do you do then?
Yeah, like I wonder what the number one cause of death for spinner dolphins is though. Like, is it bycatch?
Let's see, conservation and management.
Spinner dolphins disease, but I guess all animals are susceptible to disease.
There's definitely fisheries interactions, and
Yeah, because they definitely made it a point to say like, if it's accidentally take, right? Like you're allowed to take.
Their threats are disease, entanglement, illegal feeding and harassment, habitat degradation, marine debris, ocean noise, pressure from human viewing and other human activities, and vessel collisions. It's pretty hard to hit a spinner dolphin.
Pretty hard to hit a dolphin in general.
That's pretty gnarly.
The only case of that I know of is one, it'd have to be like injured or something maybe. But the only case I know of is a dolphin jumped up and actually, what's it called? Stuck its, I don't even want to talk about it, but it killed itself. It jumped into the side of the boat, like full speed.
Oh yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah, I think I showed you the photo a long time ago. But yeah, like it hit his head on the side of the rail. So that's the only thing I've ever heard of like I'm sure dolphins have been hit by boats, but like they're so freaking good at riding,
Yeah.
At surfing the waves.
I mean, I guess if you're traveling at a high rate of speed and being unpredictable, like if your boat can go 40 knots and then you're making a lot of course changes, I could see how you maybe would hit one.
But the thing
but
is,
like most boats cannot go that fast and handle like that.
And well, also most of the time, like there's a certain speed with dolphins. Like once you get above 15, like they'll stay with you for a minute and then
they're gone.
Like they're like, once you get a certain speed, they're like, this is energy. Like now I'm burning energy. Like when you're giving them the ride, it's different. But when they start kicking their little tails,
they're out.
They're out. They just go. You can watch them do it. They just go.
Yeah.
So, all right, well,
Overall, it's a fine line, right? And like this just got tipped too far over the edge. But I definitely agree with you. There's a lot of concern that this could have echoing effects across wildlife viewing in general. And so I guess you just have to constantly just stay up to date and operate as respectfully as you can. And, you know, we'll see what happens.
yeah.
So if you made it this far, what's our secret whale of the week? Spinner dolphin, I guess.
That's Spinner.
Spinner. Just put spinner in the
Whatever
comments.
dolphin you want. Pick a dolphin that loves to bow ride.
And yeah, thanks for listening. We can't wait for next weekend to see you all for looking for killer whales and whatever else Monterey Bay has to offer, and cleaning the beach and all that good stuff. So thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.